Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Arnie Diaz show. Hope everybody's having a good day. I just got done watching a little bit of the Niners game. That thing is looking wild. So today, guys, I just wanted to talk about a few things. First up, there's a whole lot of news about DC and Marvel and a bunch of stuff going on with them. And then also I got some news about the new Avatar. I've also got some news about the new Twister, that and more on the Arnie Diaz show. First and foremost, we're going to talk about good old Henry Cavill. If you didn't know, a few weeks ago, Henry Cavill actually announced that he was going to be returning as Superman. Unfortunately, he has just posted confirming that he will actually not be playing Superman. This actually comes not as a quite big surprise, but this comes from Henry Cavill's actual this comes from Henry Cavill's Instagram, and it's quote, I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Seraphim, and it's sad news, everyone. I will everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the earliest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of futures. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he set for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It has been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. That's wild. It's crazy how this came about so quickly, because things are just changing so much for Warner Brothers. It's wild. Warner Brothers, if you've been following, have been going through a whole lot of changes lately. First, they got bought up by Discovery, the company that actually owns Warner Brothers. Owns a Discovery Channel, now owns Warner Brothers. And because of that, there's been a complete wild shakeup at the actual company, Warner Brothers, and the entire power structure has been completely turned on its head. So, like the quote says, James Gunn and Peter Seraphim are now the heads of WB, DC division. They are going to be heading up, apparently, an entirely new universe. Now, no one is exactly sure about whether or not they're actually going to be completely destroying the new universe, the old universe, but we do know that there's still going to be a Flash movie that comes out that's from the old universe. But thanks because of Twitter and Instagram here, we do know some details about the things that are happening for the new universe. There's a few things that I've seen. So this comes from James Gunn's actual Twitter. It says, Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year. Among those on the slate is a Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on earlier parts of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. That means that James Gunn and Peter Seraphim have sat in a room and are right now deciding the fate of what the DC universe is, and in that apparently is a younger Superman. that really does excite me for sure. But I am kind of saddened at the prospect of Henry Cavill not being able to finish what he started. Um, that is very, very sad to me. Now, I am super, super excited for what's to come. I hope what I love James Gunn. James Gunn is an incredible filmmaker. I think what he has done with the stories that he's been able to tell in the DC universe are extraordinary. And I think they're really, really well done. And I really think that he is going to be the guy that does some good here. Finally, somebody who actually is from a comic book mind and a person who understands the comic books, but also understands story and knows how to do and knows how to really do tentpole movies, is actually coming in to have an eye on everything that is DC. Finally, DC is going to have a coherent idea and a coherent uh, story that flows throughout. It sucks that Henry Cavill will no longer be Superman and he will no longer be able to actually be the Superman that I think a lot of people have wanted him to be. People love Man of Steel, but there's a reason James Gunn has been brought in to completely redo the entire DC movie universe. It hasn't been that good. Uh, I like me some Zack Snyder. Don't get me wrong, but I just believe that his worldview and his ideas for what these movies that he wanted to make. I mean, they're the reason it's all gone. The tone, the ideas that he had for the characters, they just didn't flow with what the characters have been in the comic books and have been in people's minds. And it failed. It failed bad. I am thankful that James Gunn is going to be spearheading everything. I hate that Henry Cavill is not going to be Superman anymore. However, James Gunn did leave it open for Henry Cavill to be part of this new DC universe in some other way, in some other role. I don't know what that looks like. I don't like. I think Henry Cavill could be a really cool villain, some sort of really cool, just like out there villain from the universe that comes in, and I love that. I love that Henry Cavill now gets the chance to maybe possibly choose scenery as a villain or be some other character in the DC universe. I really don't think that Henry Cavill is not going to be a part of this in some way. He's too good. He's too good not to be a part of it. Also, another thing that came up last week, or actually yesterday, James Gunn tweeted this. Matt and Ben yesterday uh, precisely because he wants to direct, and we want him to direct. He just has to find the right project. That is about Ben Affleck. Apparently, Ben Affleck has met with both James Gunn and his partner Safin uh, about doing some sort of project for the new DC universe. I don't. I mean, that's awesome. Ben Affleck coming back to direct another movie. That's fuck. I mean, I like Ben Affleck as a director. I think he's a really good director, and I don't and I know that he went through a lot of stuff, and that's why his Batman failed. I mean, his Batman failed for a lot of reasons, and mainly those reasons are things that Ben Affleck just couldn't control, and everything just kind of fell apart for everything this Batman now. I know that DC is bringing him back in the new Flash movie along with some other Batmans. I think that's probably going to be really cool. Um, bringing him in as a director also, I think, is a good thing. Always bring in good talent to projects, and I'm always going to be happy. I think Ben Affleck is a spectacular director. The things that he's directed, I think, are some of the best movies made in the last couple decades. Bringing him in as a director for something in the DCEU is an absolute no brainer. Of course, you do this. There's no reason not to. I'm glad they're going to. I'm sure that I'm sure they might. I'm sure they might not. Just depending on depending on depending on what they want, what he wants. What does Ben Affleck want? He is a super nerd, man. Like a super nerd. Like that guy knows a lot about comics. Like, there's a reason he and Kevin Smith have been friends for so long. I would really like to see him direct a Batman movie. I think that's still a thing that he could do. Maybe he could direct a new Robert Pattinson movie, or maybe some sort of other project, or maybe he actually gets to direct The Dark Knight. What if Ben Affleck actually directs a Batman Beyond movie? That would be dope, where he could actually play the older Batman. I don't know. That'd be great. Anyway, another thing that I wanted to talk about today is about this movie. I absolutely have loved this movie. So Twister, the 90s, like last Amblin hurrah. Like I think this is like the end of the Amblin movies. Like when they were like, I know that Amblin is still around. They've done a lot of really good stuff, but I think that the Twister was the last of the great Amblin movies of the like late 80s, 70s generation. I think that this movie, it's just so good. If you've seen it lately, it does live up. It's old and the CG is really bad if you look at it in the tone of like nowadays, but it was such a good movie. Twister. Anyway, Twister is apparently getting a sequel, and also Twister, the Squeaker sequel is looking for a director, and it looks like they're going to get the director of an Oscar-winning movie named Lee Isaac Chang. He directed a movie named I forget. I don't know if I can say it right. It's Minari. I believe it's Minari. Anyway, I didn't see this movie, but from what I understand, it was a movie about an immigrant family. I believe they were from Korea, and kind of living the American dream and just kind of being here. And it's kind of a slice of life drama that won some of its actors Academy Awards. And I think it won a few other Academy Awards as well. This was, I think, in 2009. Interesting choice to direct a Twister movie. I like it. Actually, in this article from Slash Film, they actually state that the director of Maverick, Joseph Kosinski, was actually also tapped to direct this movie, which kind of makes sense because of the CG element and the element of and like the down home feel to it. Because I feel like that this would have been a really good second film for him after this really good movie about him. He did a movie, I forget the name of it, about these firefighters that would go into wildfires and fight them. I forget the name of that movie, but that was a really good movie. And I think that would actually, because of that movie, I think that this Twister movie would have been a good movie for Joseph. But them bringing in this director who did kind of a slice of life immigrant movie to do a Twister movie, I think is interesting, right? I think this makes this this definitely looks to like the people behind this are really interested in a kind of good story with a director that knows how to do some human stuff and also some big budget like tornado action all wrapped up in what might be like a family story. I am all for that for sure. So like Twister 2 is getting a director. I'm down. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is definitely something that everybody is going to be talking about soon. Avatar: The Way of Water is looking like it's going to be opening to some pretty big numbers. So this is from Deadline. The headline reads, quote, Avatar: The Way of Water dives in early overseas with 16 million day one in international box office. 16 million for day one. So the first two paragraphs of the article say, quote, market share are strong, including some at 99%. And in Indonesia, Thailand, the Philippines, on a like-for-like basis at today's exchange rate, it's estimated that the first day overall results are 124% ahead of the original Avatar, which is 70% above Top Gun Maverick, 13% higher than Jurassic World Dominion, 12% behind Star Wars The Force Awakens, and 23% behind Spider-Man No Way Home. Which means this movie is poised to do some pretty big numbers, which it absolutely needs to crush for it to make some of its money back. I think like James Cameron has been quoted as saying that this movie needs to make at the very minimum like $2 billion for him not to just like recoup the amount of money he lost making the movie, but to also just like them greenlight the sequel. This movie needs to like make $2 billion possibly minimum for that. It's wild. I'm excited for this movie. I'm gonna watch it tonight. It's currently 9:30. I'm gonna go watch it tonight and watch it and hopefully have a review for you guys. Hopefully in the morning. Hopefully, we'll see if I survive. Anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I'm just new at this. I'm doing my best. I will get better as I go. If you're watching this all the way to the end, thank you. I very much appreciate that. And please comment. I'll do my best to comment back to everybody who comments. And let me know about what kind of movies you want me to talk about or watch. What are some of your favorite movies? Basically anything. Please watch some other of my videos. I really appreciate that. You have a good rest of your day. Thank you.